I am Nidhi Walia with Bentley Systems. In this video, we will understand the process of designing columns and walls for a structure using RCDC. So when I have imported a STAAD file in RCDC and I'm performing a design with different parameters, RCDC has got the caliber to generate the text schedule, a detailed drawing for a column as well as a combined wall. It gives me a detailed design calculation. It gives me the joint check calculation for a ductile special type of a column wall column design. It gives me a BOQ summary. A column elevation drawing is also generated. Column BBS is also generated. So RCDC helps us to get not only the design for a particular project, it also helps us to get the design outputs like a design calculation report, the BOQ summary, the all the reports which can be saved in the form of HTML, and we get the drawing outputs which are in the form of DXF, which can be further opened in any CAD software for further editing. Let us begin to actually see how it works. So as soon as we start RCDC, we need to enter the project details. We need to enter the client name and the engineers who works on it. After that, we need to select the design code. These are the list of codes that are available for designing with RCDC, and we shall go ahead with ACI 318 design code. We need to select an analyzed STAAD file. So I'll just select one analyzed STAAD file. As soon as the file has been read in RCDC, we need to select the design element which we want to design. So let us start with column and wall, create a new project and just move ahead. So on the left hand side, we see the column reference tab, column size, level data and shift of CG. So entire data of the column and wall that are being modeled in my STAAD file is available. In the column reference, we can relate the column number provided by RCDC with the member number in my STAAD file. Column size window shows the sizes that are been assigned to each column. Now further here in RCDC, there is an option wherein we can change or assign different shapes for a column. We can change the shape to a circular, a rectangular, or a square. It can be a C, I, L, T, or any polygon or a capsule shape. And it can be any random. In case if we are changing any shape or size for a column, say we are changing this to a 35-inch circular column. So now the shape of the column has been changed. And suppose if I'm changing this to 35 by 35 inch for this column. Now if I want to update my analysis file, a feature in RCDC is available which allows us to update the analysis file without disturbing the original analysis file which was been imported. So when I go to file and say update analysis file, a new version of the same STAAD file is created on the path from where I have selected this STAAD file. So when I come here to the path where my original analysis file has been there, a new file with a new revision number has been created. So now when I open this STAAD file just to check whether the column shape and the size has been updated or not. So when we just come to see and check the STAAD file, we see that the shape of this column has been changed to a 35 in diameter circle, and the size of this column has been changed to 35 by 35, which was earlier a 30-inch by 30 column. So moving ahead, in the level data tab, we can change the grade of the concrete and steel that we wish to use for designing. So once I've changed it for one level and I want to use it for a level, I can simply copy and paste. I can also change my cover here itself. Now going ahead to design settings. So based on the coded provisions, we can perform ductility design considering intermediate or a special type of a frame. Consider beam shear option brings in the shear from the beam at the joint. Then we have the effective length factor, and there are different design settings which can be made. Crack width check as per ACI 224R can also be performed. Moving ahead, there are reinforcement settings. So we can set the minimum maximum percentage of steel. We can select the rebar number with which we want to perform the design. We can also restrict the range by selecting the minimum rebar from which we want to start and maximum rebar. And there is option to select the link type for column as well as wall. And we go ahead. There are different detailing and drawing settings available. So basically for laps and splices, there's an option to provide mechanical coupler instead of rebar splice. The location of the rebar splice or mechanical coupler can be at mid-height or at top of slab, and its style can be a staggered one or we can have it at the same location. Going ahead, then we need to select the basic load cases. So my load cases that are been defined in my analysis file, in this case it's a STAAD file, we have to assign the load type from the list available. So dead load, live load. This is earthquake X and this is earthquake Z. So once I select it, I need to drag it here. And load combinations. If I have a set of load combinations that are defined in my analysis file, I can add it from there. Or I can use the option to add load combinations for a regular or an irregular type of structure from the template that is available in RCDC itself. So once I have set the load cases and load combinations, I can just export this set of load cases and load combinations. So I say load case combination set, I save it. So for the same structure next time, when I'm trying to design a beam or I'm trying to design a column, I'm trying to design footing pile cap, whichever module, I can simply import this set of load combination and load cases instead of assigning it each and every time. So here we say OK and just simply move on for auto design process. So once the auto design process is over, and this is the design output. Further, if we want to make any modifications in my design output, there's an option to redesign a particular column section at a particular level. We can change the shape, the size of the column, or simply change the material properties that are being used. And we can also change the diameter that has been provided. There is an option to provide bundled bars. So when I say two numbers of 4 diameter here in my corner, and then when I say 1 of the 4 bar mark for the other, or I can say by keeping the diameter same, I can say provide 2 number of 8 at the corner, and when I say redesign, it redesigns with the revised configuration, and on accepting, it accepts the new reinforcement configuration. Now, if I want to use the same reinforcement configuration for all my levels, I can simply copy and paste the reinforcement. So it does not only check the design requirement, it also checks the detailing for which we are applying the design. So taking an example, if I'm providing this reinforcement configuration, which is 1.14, I just copy and paste it for another variant, percentage required as high. It gives me a design warning which says that the section fails for the revised reinforcement configuration that we are trying to provide. So the copy and paste functionality takes care of the design requirements and then tries to paste. There are several other options to redesign an entire column by changing the shape and size of the column again, or we can redesign one particular level by changing the, so when I select this, I can change the material grades for designing. Now if I want to see the interaction surface for this particular column, I can see that the graph is available for a P minimum up to a P maximum, and the critical load combination is highlighted in green. So my PM curve in a 3D and a 2D form is available for validation. Moving ahead, there are different design outputs that can be generated. So a text schedule is for all the columns is being generated. Then we have a detailed drawing which is generated for a column as well as for a combined wall, and the details are provided at each and every level for all the three arms. So when I have C18, C16 and C19, the C16, 18 and 19 notification has been provided here and the link arrangement has been displayed here. The column elevation is also generated for each and every column that has passed for design from the bottommost level of a particular column to the topmost level. So all the drawings that are generated from RCDC can be saved as a DXF file, and further it can be used to open in any CAD software for further editing. Coming to reports, project setting report, which gives the detailed summary of what are the design settings being used by designing, is been provided. Design summary report for all the columns and wall has been generated. A detailed design calculation report which starts with the calculation of stability index, considering the minimum eccentricity, considering the slenderness check, considering the PN max check, minimum AST check, all the checks as per the code guidelines for the frame type special or whatever frame type is selected is being performed, and a detailed calculation is being provided. So all the design calculations that are generated can be saved in the form of HTML format. Joint check report at a column and beam joint has been performed for flexure and the shear strength of the joint. BOQ can be generated in three formats. One is the summary, which gives me the summary of the entire project. One is the detailed BOQ, which gives me the quantity by bifurcating the longitudinal bars, the link, and what is the total. And it also gives me the shuttering quantity. And one is the detailed BOQ, which gives me quantity bifurcation based on the rebar number, again giving me the shuttering quantity. The quantity of column and wall is been separately available in all the three type of BOQ reports. One more special report is available which is known as column size changed. So in case when I have changed my size or shape of the column, original size versus what is the modified size is available in a different report, which is the column size changed report. The BBS is also generated for all the columns again that have been passed from the bottom to the topmost level, and a detailed table for the BBS along with the cutting length and the bar shape has been provided. And this BBS can be saved in the form of an Excel worksheet, or it can be saved in the form of a drawing itself. So there is a lot more that can be done with RCDC. Thank you.
If you found this video helpful, please give it a like. If you want to see more such series, consider subscribing to our channel. Thank you, and see you next time.